Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to Remember 11, Age of Infinity. Uni was gonna give us the spiel, but we transferred or something. Jeez, I can't remember. Let's just carry on, shall we? It'll come back to me. I'm old, okay? Uni, I yelled as I rushed into the room. Wait a second. This room is... This room I just rushed into wasn't the cabin. Yes, that's true. I stopped and took a good look around. This is Hattori's room? Help me, Hattori. What's wrong? Before me were Uni and Hattori. Uni was hiding behind Hattori, peeking up from behind her back. He looked scared out of his wits. As if to protect him, Hattori had spread her arms wide. A transfer. What happened, Yuki-kun? Satoru, he tried to attack me. Satoru? Wait, Uni. I hurriedly interjected. I don't know what happened, but that wasn't me. I wasn't the one who did it. It's probably Kokoro who cares about that? Isn't Kokoro just a part of you? Leave me alone already. Stay away from me. Uni, I see. I think I more or less get it now. Hattori extended her right arm. She pointed her index finger at the door, and her next words were, "Get out, Satoru." Her cold tone left no room for debate. But no excuses. I don't want to hear it. Don't you get why you're so scared? I don't. How could I? Because I didn't do anything. But it'd be useless to object now. I should leave for the time being. I understand, I said, my shoulders drooping. Having decided to leave, I turned around. I extended one foot toward the door. But the moment I did... Huh? Before I knew it, my body was hurtling toward the floor. And then, in slow motion, as though I were on the surface of the moon, my surroundings slowly lifted. My face slammed against the doorknob. It sank into my cheek. My body bent inward like a sheet of plastic. From that position, my face slid slowly and agonizingly down the surface of the door. I hit the floor with a thud. Right then, all movement stopped. Before I realized it, I was lying next to the door. My cheekbones and teeth hurt like hell, but astonishment overwhelmed the pain. Why was I staggering and unable to support my body like this? Why didn't I throw out my arms by reflex to protect myself? Huh, what are you doing? Her scornful voice trailed me. Really, what the hell am I doing? It took some time for me to remember. I'm always confused after a transfer, but I finally brought myself back up to speed on the situation. Right, I forgot. My body was still being racked with DMT. Having somehow managed to reach my room, I was now resting on my bed. The effects of the DMT were slowly beginning to subside, but I still felt like a rubber doll. If I concentrate with all my might, I could manage to stand or even walk. However, if I lost focus even for a second, I became worn out faster than a pair of socks worn for 3 days and 3 nights straight. Movement required the use of my reflexes, was especially slow and painful. Right now, if you were to throw so much as a paper bag at me, I'd only flail like a fish out of water and unable to avoid it. I couldn't would see me. It'll take at least 12 hours for the chemical to completely leave your body. So I can't hope for a complete recovery until around 8 PM. Sheesh, just perfect. I can't go and look for a culprit like this. Anyway, the only thing I can do now is wait for the DMT to be broken down and expelled from my body. The one upside to having my reflexes impaired like this is that time seems to be progressing frightfully fast to me. On the digital display of my wristwatch, the passage of each second was considerably faster than normal. I suddenly noticed that the sky had overflowed with that madder red hue. Present time, 3:55 PM. 4 hours until 8. I put the wristwatch back in my pocket and closed my eyes. I guess I could go to sleep, or at least I tried to, but just then I heard the door open. I opened my eyes in a flash and swiveled my neck to the side. Why does he never lock the door? There stood Hattori. What is it now? Is something wrong with Uni? I went to get up as I spoke. However, my body wriggled like a dancer desperately performing some strange ballet. I managed to right myself and settle back down on the bed. I bent forward and crossed my arms over my knees. Amused at my pathetic condition, Hattori laughed. She wore a complex smile of neither scorn nor pity. Smack, smack. What's that weird sound she's making? Is she eating hard candy or something? She backed up against the open door and shut it, then cast a sidelong glance at me. She seemed to be holding something behind her back. I could faintly see the edges of something like a magazine sticking out from behind her. Why aren't you saying anything? No reason. No reason, huh? Then what'd you come in here for? To be killed. Huh? Maybe I'm here to be killed. I didn't quite get what she was trying to say. I knit my brows together as I gazed at her, trying to figure her out. You want to kill me too, don't you? Me too? Kill her? That too worried me, but for the time being I answered, what the fuck are you talking about, you lunatic? That's what I answered her. Why would I want to kill you? We've been spending our time protecting your fucking ass, you twat. Thanks for being fucking grateful. Sorry. What would I gain from that? So you killed that man because you had something to gain? Listening to her, I finally understood the meaning of that too. She thinks I'm the one who murdered Enomoto. Though I'm getting pretty fed up with this, I answered her. That was Kokoro. My personality isn't directly responsible for it. But still, you're the one who did it, aren't you? Because it was your body. Don't you have to make up for it somehow? Ordinarily, you'd be right. Under ordinary circumstances, that is. But you know what? Right now, I'm in an extraordinarily and ridiculously unique situation. The normal criteria doesn't apply to me. Unique how? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. You don't know that for sure? I might have been caught in the very same situation. For an instant, all of my thoughts ground to a halt. The same situation. What the... Come on, tell me. Unique how? Like being possessed by some kind of spirit, is that it? Oh yeah, something like that. I answered, perfunctorily. I'm way more concerned about what she said, why she said the same situation. I wanted to ask her about it, but I kept my mouth shut. But... I see, so that's how it is. The woman called Fuyukawa Kokoro was dead, right? The words were like a blow that sent everything I thought up until that point flying away, leaving no trace. A cold shiver ran along my spine. I held my breath and let out a raspy voice. I mean, she's right. I never even considered it like that. We're possessed by someone who's dead. Why are you... It's this. She tossed me the thing she'd held behind her back. It hit my shoulder and fell to the ground with a thud. I could neither catch nor dodge it. With my body like this, even picking it up was a difficult task. But there was no need to waste my strength. What had fallen to the floor was, as I suspected, a magazine. On the front cover was printed the heading, Current Events Weekly, July 21st, sorry. Don't know where I saw June. Where did you... I found it. Hidden under the mattress. Don't go rummaging around people's rooms like that. I shouldn't? Of course not. Which means I shouldn't have read the stuff written in that notepad either. My body slumped and I hung my head. The notepad held every conversation I'd had with Kokoro since the beginning. We wrote everything about the personality exchange, about the person out to kill me, and the part where I'd written Hattori might be the culprit. Satoru, how do I say this? She's dead, you know. I understood after I read it. The way I see it, what you're writing is just an exchange diary with yourself. Well, since it has nothing to do with me, I don't really care. But more importantly, Satoru, it looks like someone is after you. And about this culprit, you wrote, even if the Hattori personality is uninvolved, there's another more ferocious personality lurking within her. You can probably say that that probability is high, or something like that. But you know what? I'm not even the tiniest bit involved in this, since I'd have nothing to gain by killing you, Satoru. Right? What'd you have to gain by killing 12 people in a hospital? But didn't you say to stab or to be stabbed? Which one do you prefer last night? Did you take that seriously? That was just a little joke. Or perhaps, do you really believe I'm the culprit, Satoru? Kind of. I mean, it would be too obvious, right? But... yeah. I answered without hesitation. That's so. If that's the case, then why do you just keep right on thinking it? Why don't you just keep right on thinking it? Right until you get killed, that is, huh? And when that time comes, I'm sure you'll realize it. Well, what do you know? So Hattori wasn't the culprit after all. You sound awfully confident. Since you're willing to say all that, go ahead and prove me wrong. No problem. But I have no proof. I have no proof, but I guess I could clue you into another possibility. Another possibility? I picked up a couple of clues. I more or less understand who's really behind it. I brushed the bridge of my nose with a fingertip. I peered into Hattori's eyes. I chose my next words carefully. And who might that be? Hattori pointed straight at me and declared it. You. My heart stopped. I was so dumbfounded I forgot to breathe. My field of vision began to distort. What the hell did you just say? I managed to wring my answer from my paralyzed throat. Satoru, didn't you collapse in the dining area this morning? You ingested the MAO inhibitor and the DMT, didn't you? And the person who took them is you, yourself, Hattori continued. Putting it all together, this is her explanation. First off, it seems the MAO inhibitor and the DMT belonged to Hattori in the first place. This morning, after she woke up, Hattori suddenly felt uneasy about Enomoto's corpse and came down to the basement. There, she says, she discovered that dimly lit room. The door had been left open after a scuffle with Enomoto. She went inside. There was another room through there, housing a generator and several shelves of different medications. After discovering the MAO inhibitor and the DMT, she took them back to her room. It's beyond me why she'd want to do that, but needless to say, she did it anyway. She's quite familiar with both the MAO inhibitor and the DMT. She knew what would happen if she took them herself too, and after fasting for 48 hours, she wanted to try experiencing their effects firsthand. In other words, this is what happened. She left the small room carrying the 2 bottles close to her chest. She climbed the stairs back up to the dining area. Here her explanation grew a little vague. I lost consciousness there. When I came to, I saw Satoru lying on the floor with the 2 empty bottles right next to him, so I assumed I'd ingested the chemicals, it seems. Immediately after, Itsumi came out of her room and Hattori promptly ran away, she said. If Itsumi had found out she'd stolen the drugs, things could have gotten ugly. She wants to kill you anyway, so I don't think you're going to make it any worse. Wait right there. Then didn't you witness it You didn't witness it directly, did you? But there wasn't anyone else around. I can only think that you drank them, Satoru. Sorry. Not Satoru, but the Kokoro personality, right? Kokoro did? I asked that almost as a reflex, but I'd already anticipated it. If Hattori is right, then of course it was the other personality, Kokoro, who drank it. So I figured that meant that all the other crimes were probably the work of Kokoro personality as well. No, you're wrong. That's wrong, I thought immediately. And the bathtub incident, sure, Kokoro might have thrown herself in, but what about the clock tower? That was before any space-time transfer had occurred. Moreover, my left arm. That couldn't be explained either. I resolved myself and tried asking Hattori about it. She answered readily. Wasn't that just self-mutilation? Satoru, I hate to say it, but don't you have a couple of screws loose? Couldn't you have had those impulses dwelling inside you? So you were the one who seized the knife in one hand and aimed it at your other arm, and then with a single stroke. Sorry, I made the same mistake again. Not Satoru, but Kokoro, right? My left arm? That's right, the wound was on my left arm. But Kokoro is left-handed. That's a contradiction. As I lost myself in my thoughts this way, Hattori was continuing. And about the bathtub. Satoru, you nearly drowned in your tub, right? What if the Kokoro personality has suicidal impulses or something? Self-mutilation and suicide. Anyway, Satoru, the desires for self-annihilation and self-destruction lie within you. No, in Kokoro. In Kokoro. As if she was implying it were in my heart and mind. Well, maybe that's exactly what it was. The real criminal isn't Kokoro, but my mind. My mind. My mind is right-handed. My head is blank. I couldn't think. And then she stabs us in the face while we're distracted. I came to my senses sometime after Hattori had left. I've been left right behind in my room, isolated, all alone. So I can't read today. You're just going to put up with idiot me. That's more of an idiot than usual. Present time, 9:45 p.m. Night had fallen long before. I took the DMT at 8 o'clock this morning. 12 hours had already passed. The residue of the chemical in my body has been disassembled and eliminated, and my physical malaise had only just begun to let up. My body had recovered to the point where I could jump around or do whatever else. As time passed, even the words Hattori had left behind gradually faded away. Hurry up and forget. Or rather, I really wanted to hurry up and forget. I shifted my attention to other matters. I thought about the shelter cabin. What were they doing right now? On this day, 1 year ago, Mount Akakura should be undergoing a blizzard right now. With no fuel or rations left, how do they feel as time ticks away? In any case, I had to lead them out of this circle as soon as possible. It happened shortly after I thought that. The next transfer. Coffee break. All of a sudden, the scenery changed completely. SPHIA vanished and the shelter cabin took its place. And a wave of cold struck me. It was no normal cold. I felt pain, as though it were eating into my skin. My teeth chattered. Even the air I breathed out felt frozen. No wonder. There was no firewood left. Yomogi and Lin were standing in different places around the room, trying to bear the cold. Yuni was wrapped up in a blanket on the bed together with me. The faint warmth emitting from his small body felt very reassuring. Yuni was sleeping, nestled against my shoulder. I took a second look around. Nobody was talking. Nobody so much as moved a muscle. Even sustaining their breathing required the utmost effort. I was in a world about to be consumed by snow, ice, silence, and death. I laid Yuni down slowly, so as to not wake him up, and stood. I slowly got up and went to the window to survey the scenery outside. The sky was clear. Obviously, we're on Aosagi Island. Alright, I'm getting everyone out of the circle. Ready to set my plan in motion, I turned toward the others. At that moment, Uh-oh, what's going on? Lin abruptly starts to yell. No more, no more. Oh, she's freaking out. I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I can't die yet. At her wit's end, she moaned, writhing in anguish. Not good. The way things were going, Lin would have a mental breakdown. I rushed over to her. God, I still can't stand this lady. She sucks. I sat down beside her and silently took her hand in mine, squeezing it. Her body jerked. She stopped trembling. Her hand was cold and so dried out it was pitiful. I couldn't bear this. Even though Lin's in this situation, I can't do anything for her. Even though I once swore to protect her. Even though I swore I'd never let her feel sad. What am I doing? What did I come here to do? I'll definitely save Lin. I gripped her hand a little harder. Lin's eyes focused on me. That hurts, Lin muttered. It hurts, so please let go. Please? Got it. As she wished, I let go of her hand. Lin leaned against the wall. Shivering from cold, she hugged her body tight with both arms. I wanted to hold her and warm her up, but I decided against it. The current me is not me. To her, at least. I've had enough. Lin sounded as if she was on the verge of completely giving up. It's not going to happen. No one's coming to save us. We're going to die. Her voice dissipated along with her white breath in that intense winter cold. You're wrong. I clenched my fist tight. You're wrong, I spoke. As I spoke, something red hot ignited in my heart. A scorching flame. A flame that made me raise my voice to a shout, firing up. We aren't going to die. We're going to make it out of here. We don't have any time to waste here. I'm going to take you out of this hell. I'll save you. I'll prove it. Everyone. I'm going to save everyone who's here. I won't let a single one die. Are you saying you can do that? I'll definitely won't let you die. I'll save you. Definitely. The promise I wasn't able to keep this time, I'll keep it. Please stop it. We're gonna die. And still you're pretending to be Satoru? I want to see the real Satoru. Tears welled up in Lin's eyes. Her tears soaked into the bed and slowly permeated the blankets. Slowly. Just then, just at that moment, inside me a certain memory slowly seeped out. Before long, like a bubble on the surface of water, it popped. Surely it'd be easy to prove we're the real Satoru, right? We know heaps about her that nobody else would know. Hey Satoru. Hey Satoru. Do that. That? And what is that? Come on. When I say that, I mean that. It's the that lovers do. You don't get it, do you? Round and round? Huh? I want you to do the round and round. Look, don't you see it a lot? Round and round on the beach. I want you to do it. In other words, this is what she wants me to do. Lin clings to me. With myself as the axis, I swing Lin round and round in the air. It's like one of those rides at an amusement park. No way, too embarrassing. Do it yourself. It's because I can't do it myself that I'm asking you, dummy. People are watching, no way I'm doing that. Do it, that's an order. An order? Yeah, an order. Article 100 of the Japanese Constitution, first paragraph. Yukido Satoru bears the obligation to respect and support Mayuzumi Lin. Article 100 of the Japanese Constitution, second paragraph. Yukido Satoru bears the obligation of executing Mayuzumi Lin's every order. Whoa, hold it right there. What the heck is with this Article 100? I've never been to any law school, but even I know that the Japanese Constitution only has 99 articles. Article 100 of the Japanese Constitution, third paragraph. Yukido Satoru has no right to deny the words of Mayuzumi Lin. Like I said, there's no such article. Oh, be quiet. Hurry up and do it. Come on, do it. Please. Lin stamped her foot in impatience on the verge of a tantrum. I'm so weak against her when she behaves like this. I say weak, but it's more like I can't go against it. Really, I don't have a choice, do I? I held Lin tight. With the night skyline glittering like jewels behind us, I swing Lin round and round. Round and round and round. Round and round and round. Just what is so fun about this? Lin was laughing in extraordinarily high spirits. The world reflecting in her eyes was full of happiness and joy. In a world glittering like glass, in that incredibly delicate, fragile world, we kept spinning round and round. Her smiling face shone with a beautiful radiance, brighter than the light of any neon, the glimmer of any jewel. I really loved that smiling Lin. She was beautiful. So that the fragile world wouldn't break apart, I wished for Lin to keep on smiling. Always. Always. Through everything. However, the day arrived, January 11th, 2011, and the world shattered. Lin suddenly disappeared from this world. Lin, I'm the real Satoru. We did the round and round on the beach together, remember? Huh? Article 100 of the Japanese Constitution, first paragraph. Yukido Satoru bears the obligation to respect and support Mayuzumi Lin. That's why I'll continue to protect you. No, that's not it. I want to protect you, Lin. How do you know about that? That's something only Satoru and I should know. It's because I am Satoru. That's a lie. It's not a lie. Because you suddenly disappeared, Hey, what would you do if I suddenly disappeared from this world? I'd search for the world where you were. Then what if you couldn't find that world? Well, I'd probably keep on searching until I found it. So I came and found the world where you were, Lin. Satoru, is it really you? Yeah. I softly touched the silver earring, the one I'd given her as a present in Lin's small, cute ear. It's really me. Satoru, yeah, okay. Tears flowed afresh down Lin's cheeks, drip, drop, falling without end. I kept silent as I stared into Lin's eyes. I wanted to see you. I ran away from him, my fiancé. Fiancé? You were engaged? Yes, I was. We broke up in the summer of 2010. I had to break up with you because of my fiancé. No, to be more accurate, they made me break up with you. Because my parents arbitrarily decided on a fiancé for me. A stupid political marriage of convenience. I hadn't known about her circumstances nor her reasons for the breakup. I remembered how confused I was then. I thought of going with it at first because I couldn't oppose my parents, but no matter what I did, I couldn't forget about you. The very idea of marrying someone I didn't love began to disgust me. The one I loved, the one I fell in love with is you, Satoru. I heard you were near Wakanai, so in order to see you, I got on an airplane. So that's how it was. And then Lin got caught up in the plane crash. Fate, or rather, God, sure had a sense of irony. She was coming to see me, but in doing so, she never got to see me again. Lin. I stretched out my hand to stroke Lin's hair. However, Lin brushed my hand away. Lin? I feel so stupid. There's no way you could be Satoru, right? Lin? Go away. Huh? Get out of my sight. Stop confusing me, please. If you're the real Satoru, you should obey my commands. Article 100 of the Japanese Constitution, second paragraph. Yukido Satoru bears the obligation of executing Mayuzumi Lin's every order. It's fine now, right? I've already calmed down. I won't go crazy like that again. I'll be alright. So don't worry. Just go away for now. Got it. Once Lin proposes something, she won't change her mind. I have no choice but to quietly obey. But for now, it looks like Lin's regained her self-control. I think she'll be able to keep her composure for a while. I left her side. I got up from the bed and headed toward the window again. The weather outside was clear as usual. Alright, we can escape at any time. Let's get everyone out of here. But before that, I decided to check outside the circle one more time. I need to stay focused. We've only got 33 minutes, dude. We can't be fucking around like this. I need to stay focused and be careful. I opened the door and stepped outside. "33 minutes had nearly passed since my arrival here. I didn't have much time left. Filled with determination, I kicked off the floorboards inside the entrance and jumped out into the snow. I trudged my way through it. Before long, the snow had piled up around my feet, making it impossible for me to go any faster. I probably should have just brought the three of them with me in the first place. No point in regretting it now, though. I'm already all the way out here. It was 110 meters from the shelter cabin to the edge of the circle. Even with the resistance of the snow, a one-way trip should only take 5 minutes if I hurried. There was a gentle uphill slope on the way, but I'd already worked that into my calculations. I continued trudging through the snow and up the hill. I raised my eyes to the heavens. Faint clouds drifted far above, but otherwise, the night sky was ironically clear. Once the space-time transfer occurs, the starry sky will probably be erased in an instant as well. Though my consciousness would remain here at Aosagi Island, so I wouldn't be able to see it happen. I silently continued up the hill, and eventually reached the edge of the circle. I knew it was the edge because of the slight difference in elevation. The layer of fallen snow on the outside was visibly lower. To me, the clearly defined difference between the levels of snow was a strong indicator I was in an artificial environment. He needs to leave a note for Kokoro to, once he switches back, to go out of the radius. Oh wait, she can't. There's no way to get her back. When I raised my head, spread before me was the same scene I saw 2 days ago, completely unchanged. Far off in the distance, the horizon dividing sky and sea. A myriad of twinkling stars above it, the glassy depths of the dark ocean below. This was Aosagi Island after all. After I finished confirming it, I took a deep breath and immediately turned back the way I came. But just as I did, I caught the merest glimpse of a strange shadow out of the corner of my eye. I'd only walked 10 or 20 meters from the shore. The shadow was just inside the circle. Some kind of flesh-colored cloth covered it. I think it's clothing. Drawn to it, I headed away from my previous path and headed over to it instead. It's not moving this time? I realized with a single glance that it was a corpse. The remains of a lone girl lay there, almost buried in the snow. I tried lifting her arm, but she didn't move an inch. No, she was clearly past the point of being able to move. You could call her an ice sculpture, but the way she was now. She was frozen solid, no longer any different from the snow that surrounded her. Only her dead face, so similar to a sleeper's, hinted that there had once been life there. Her pale white skin, her face encased in ice, shone underneath the faint light of the stars with an almost enchanting beauty. It may have been imprudent, but I almost forgot about the time as I stared at that face. Of course, I couldn't recall ever having met her. Just who was she? And how did the girl get all the way out here in the first place? Returning to my senses, I searched under her until I discovered a wallet. There was a driver's license inside. I drew it out and looked down at it. Suzukage Hitori. That was what was written there. I left her remains lying there and began to run. Naturally, it wasn't as though I felt no guilt, but I no longer had the freedom to dwell on it right now. Does that mean Suzukage's personality was transferred, just like ours, into Inabushi Kaiko's body, and that Inabushi Kaiko transferred into that body and is dead? Is that how that works? I kicked up snow as I ran. I practically rolled down the slope back to the cabin. Fragmented thoughts raced through my head. Suzukage Hitori. The girl's name was Hitori. Though she was no longer alive, that girl was the real Suzukage Hitori. But at the same time, I've got to get those three out of the circle. Chaos reigned in my head. I felt like I was losing it. I charged forward, raising my legs as high as I could, hoping to regain my reason. At that moment, I heard something, a whirring, rhythmic sound, rending the atmosphere. Helicopter! Looking up, I saw a helicopter. It's probably a self-defense force transport vehicle. Its propeller rotated in its designated circle, keeping its heavy frame up in the air. This isn't Mount Akakura, it's Aosagi Island. It wouldn't have all been strange for a transport helicopter to pass overhead, but I only knew that because I knew the truth. Yomogi and Lin were inside the shelter cabin. And as soon as I thought that, sure enough, both of them came flying out of the cabin, panicking, as though this was their last chance. Hey, over here! Down here! Save us! Jeez, over here! Where do you think you're going? They were probably drawn out by the sound of the helicopter. They waved their arms at the aircraft frantically. Yomogi was clutching a flashlight in one hand. After a while, Yuni appeared as well, staggering as he ran. I nodded as I made sure all three of them were there. Then I took off running after the helicopter. Luckily, it was heading right in my direction. I stood there in place and waited for them to come to me. Turning my head, I followed it with my eyes, breathing hard. It was pretty high up. I could tell what it was by the way it was shaped, but from a distance, it was difficult to make out anything else. The helicopter glided further away through the starry sky. Eventually, the three of them reached me. Hey, what do you think you're doing, Fuyukawa-san? Don't you know what's going on? Look over there, it's a helicopter. A helicopter's come. Yomogi shouted, breathing roughly. He pointed straight up at the helicopter overhead. Hey, wait, please wait. Shouting at the top of his lungs, Yomogi began to chase after it again. Lin and Yuni followed close behind him. I chased after them as well. There was no reason not to. If they continued on like this, the three of them would probably escape the circle. Wait, the three of them? Then what about me? What would happen to Kokoro's body? But even as I thought that, I ran on, continuing my pursuit. I caught up to Yuni. As he began to speak. Satoru, what is it? Truth is, there's something I need to tell you. Out of breath, he tried to speak over the pauses for breath that broke up his sentences. So what is it already? Listen, Satoru. There's no way we'll make it out of the circle. Huh? It's gonna happen soon. The space-time transfer. I glanced down at my wristwatch. The hands were pointed at 10:52 p.m. The edge of the circle is still far off. Satoru, calm down and listen to me, okay? This will be the last time that we meet like this. His words stopped me in my tracks. Yuni halted as well and turned to face me. How should I say this? The next transfer won't happen until the 17th. How could you possibly know that? Just be quiet and listen. We've got no time left. The next transfer will happen on the 17th at 4:48 a.m. Let me repeat. The next transfer will happen on the 17th at 4:48 a.m. That's why until then... Come on. So Uni does know all about it. Obviously. Shit. God damn it. We fucked around with Lin instead of like getting our plan underway. I blame Satoru. He sucks. Anyway, we better wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today, but we must be getting close to an end then, right? What is Uni's game? Come on. Thanks for watching, Bryce, and I'll see you in the next one.